Alright, so let's move on to the next part of this live stream. So what I want to do now is just go through some of my favorite quotes that I found from this book and just talk about them from my own perspective. So Ikigai is a very good book that I found very inspiring, and here are some of my favorite quotes. So number one, we can get that on the screen. The first quote we're going to talk about is Ikigai is the art of staying young. While growing old. So you can see that on the screen right there. Ikigai is the art of staying young whilst growing old. So the question I have to ask you is, what are you doing to stay young? Or rather, is your habits making you grow older quicker? It's food for thought, because our lifestyles is what's contributing towards the end result. I remember seeing an advert from Evian, the water company, and their slogan is "Live Young." And you'll see famous tennis stars, Maria Sharapova, I think some others, and then they will get babies wearing their clothes, and what they're trying to say is, or what they're trying to insinuate is, if you drink their water, it will keep you forever young, give you a baby face, etc. And very much the concept of this book in Ikigai, it talks a lot about what the people of the Okinawan people, the small village in the south of Japan, what the things that they do. They exercise regularly, they have a healthy, balanced diet, they're part of a community, they keep themselves busy, and these are the things that help them to stay young. And you have to ask yourself the question, am I part of a community? Do I interact with people on a regular basis? We're too much now in this technological age, where everything is online, Zoom meetings, etc. And I know we're a bit more out and about now since the lockdown has been lifted. But are you interacting with people? Are you getting yourself out of the house, interacting with others? Do you exercise regularly? Is your diet a good diet, or is it filled with junk and all other things? We have to ask ourselves these questions. And if these people have the highest percentage of centurions, people that live over the age of 100, I think it's a good idea to take note and take some of what they do on board. It also mentions things like them having, I think, 3 cups of green tea or jasmine tea, things like that. Foods and high in antioxidants, which help them stay young also. Let's move on to the next one. Number 2, we have the next quote. The words Ikigai can be broken into 2 words. Let me put that in quotes. Iki, which means life, and then you've got Gai, which means worthwhile. So the word Ikigai means a life worthwhile. Another question, are you living a life that's worthwhile? What are the meaningful things in life that you are pursuing, that are important to you? What are the things that give you that kind of sense of fulfillment? What things could you do that could bring more fulfillment in life? Life has its way of getting in the way of the things that are more important. We get into the rat race, we're working, we're up and down, we're focused on our goals, maybe earning a certain amount of money, buying a particular car, living in a particular type of house, etc. And is this the most important thing in life? What's the point of buying a nice car or living in a big house if you don't have anyone to share that with? Purpose is always related to other people. Doesn't matter how successful you are, you always hear of people that are successful that end up committing suicide, and it's just like, with all the money and the fame and everything, the accolades that come with it, you would have thought that would be enough to keep somebody happy. But you could be poor in terms of monetary value, but you could be very rich in terms of the people that you have around you, the sense of community, the love that you experience and feel. And so it's very important that we make time for the most important things, those purposeful things in life, whether it is your children, whether it is your faith, whether it is some sort of mission that you have, or some sort of goal, but it has to be related to other people. That's the most important thing. Let's move on to the next one, number 3. So yeah, guys, just bear with me. New way of doing things, but I feel once we get to a better level in terms of more seamless, it will be more enjoyable. And the next quote we have that resonated with me was the secret to keeping the body young, is by keeping the mind active. The secret to keeping the body young is by keeping the mind active. Another question, is your mind being challenged? Are you challenging your mind in your day-to-day life? What things are you doing to challenge your mind? The mind is a muscle. The concept of you going to the gym. A lot of people suffered during the lockdown, not being able to go to the gym. They had to find other ways, whether it was going for a run, using resistant bands, to build that muscle. But there's a saying that my pastor always says, use it or lose it. A muscle needs to be used. It needs to be exercised. Especially when you go to the gym, when you use the gym, when you exercise and you feel that bit of pain because the muscles are broken down and they're repairing and they're growing. What are you doing? What sort of exercises are you doing for your mind? Again, life has its way of getting in the way. Are you just in a monotonous routine? You get up, you go to work, you come home, watch your favorite Netflix series, and you go again. What is it that what is it that you're doing in your day-to-day to challenge your mind? So again, it's very important to make time in your schedule to challenge your brain. Do things like learn an instrument, take on projects, maybe some mental arithmetic or something that challenges your mind, word searches, anything that can be done to challenge your mind. What they say is dementia is not really a disease for the elderly. You can grow old with a sharp mind if it's challenged enough. It's a bit of a myth that dementia is because of old age. It's not really that. It's a mind that's not been challenged that's causing people to get dementia in a general sense. Let's move on to the next one. Number 4. There, let's spell that correctly. There is no future, no past. There is only the present. There is no future, there is no past, there is only the present. What I liked about this quote is the notion of you taking control of what is within your control. There's so many things in life that you have no control over, but ultimately we have to learn how to trust God, believe God, and just do the things that you can do and not worry about the things that you cannot control. The past is gone, so if you've made mistakes in the past, start again in the present moment. There's time to turn things around. The future will one day become the present, and if you don't know how to enjoy the present, what makes you think you will enjoy the future? We're always looking at the next thing, always comparing ourselves to other people, always thinking that, if only I was like this person or like that person, then life will be much better. But really, look at what you do have in your life and enjoy it now, and that will help you in turn to enjoy the future successes, the future you achieving the goals, etc. So again, take control of the things that's within your control, leave the rest to God. Moving on to the final quote. Number 5, we have, he who has a why to live for can live. He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how. What is it that drives you when you wake up in the morning? There's a saying that goes, purpose is the greatest alarm clock. What is it that gets you up in the morning? What is it that stirs you? What is it that drives you? What force, what kind of external or internal force that's pushing you to do better, to do more, to improve, to not be satisfied with where you're at, to contend for more? What is it? How do you find your why? Your why can be your children, it could be your legacy, it could be your desires and goals, the feeling, again, the notion of there's more to life than whatever it is that you have in your life. And as the saying goes, as the quote goes, you can bear with almost any how. So any obstacles that come in the way regarding your why, how it needs to be done, can be overcome. And yeah, there you go. There's my 5 favorite quotes from the book Ikigai. Put in the comments section which ones resonated with you the most. And again, I would want to recommend you reading this book. Is there anything else that you got from these quotes? Maybe take a different take on them, or is there quotes of these quotes that you don't agree with? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, let's move on to the next section.